A long-awaited report about the July 13th assassination attempt on former President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, is offering a critical review of the U.S. Secret Service. An independent panel appointed by Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas found the agency requires fundamental reform and has systemic issues which must be addressed with urgency. CBS's Nicole Skanga has more from Washington.
The blistering 35-page report outlines a series of systemic issues. In a letter to the DHS Secretary, the bipartisan panel of former Homeland Security officials warned that without fundamental reform to the Secret Service, another Butler can and will happen. A new detailed timeline reveals local officers radioed to alert that Thomas Crooks was armed and laying down just 30 seconds before shots rang out. That message never made it to the Secret Service, including the counter sniper that shot and killed the gunman just 16 seconds later, or agents on Trump's protective detail. The panel said agents operated under the assumption that they effectively had to do more with less, and cited a troubling lack of critical thinking by Secret Service personnel both before, on, and after July 13th. The panel's recommendations include a new leadership team from outside the U.S. Secret Service with private sector experience, plus restructuring the agency to refocus on its protective mission. And the review also assessed that the failure of July 13th likely would have occurred regardless of budget. In other words, an unlimited budget alone will not fix the Secret Service's problems. In Washington, Nicole Skanga, CBS News.
Chicago police are investigating vandalism that happened at Trump International Tower and Hotel yesterday evening. At least half a dozen windows were broken. According to a witness, a man was seen throwing rocks at 6 different windows and left the scene. So far, no arrests have been made. Huge story overseas now. Israeli officials say its troops have killed Hamas's top leader in a military operation in Gaza. CBS's Ramy Inocencio has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Confirmation of the death of the mastermind of the October 7th terror attacks came from Israel's foreign minister following DNA testing. On Wednesday, the Israel Defense Forces killed Hamas's top leader, Yahya Sinwar, and 2 others in a raid in southern Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said evil suffered a heavy blow, but the war is not over. Last month, the Justice Department charged Sinwar and other Hamas figures, saying they financed, directed, and oversaw a campaign to murder U.S. citizens and endanger U.S. national security, orchestrating killings and kidnappings. The parents of U.S. and Israeli hostage Omer Nutra released a video statement.
This is a critical, time-sensitive development as it relates to the hostages. Their lives are in great danger now, more than ever.
Vice President Kamala Harris commented on the death following a campaign event.
Justice has been served, and the United States, Israel, and the entire world are better off as a result.
The October 7th attacks that killed more than 1,200 Israelis launched the war against Hamas that has killed 42,000 Palestinians, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. The conflict has also spread to Lebanon. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
President Biden was also updated about the possible death of Sinwar starting this morning. He says it is a good day for Israel, for the U.S., and the world. The state of Texas is set to execute an inmate tonight in the face of growing concerns that he is innocent. The lead detective in Robert Robertson's case told a panel of Texas lawmakers yesterday morning that he had gotten it wrong. Officials rejected the request for clemency. He would be the first person in the U.S. to be put to death for a murder linked to shaken baby syndrome. Some experts say his conviction was based on faulty, outdated scientific evidence. Voters in several states will see abortion measures on the ballot next month. The battle over reproductive rights moved to states after the Supreme Court overturned federal protection for abortion access in 2022. CBS's Christian Benavidez caught up with one group knocking on doors to reach voters about the Right to Abortion initiative and an opposing campaign that argues Florida's Amendment 4 is dangerous.
The 3 knocks, step back.
Organizers with the grassroots group Mi Vecino go over the game plan before they hit the road. pounding the pavement to talk to Florida voters about Amendment 4, which would repeal the state's 6-week abortion ban.
If the election were today and you were in the ballot box, would you vote in favor, opposition? Would you need more information?
Amendment 4 needs 60% approval to pass. To see the Right to Abortion initiative over the finish line, Mi Vecino has knocked on more than 185,000 doors in Central and South Florida and made 750,000 phone calls.
We're talking to anybody and everybody, and right now we have a specific focus on youth voters because that's where we're seeing the highest levels of support for Amendment 4.
Organizers say they're also tailoring their message for different groups of voters.
We talk to men, we talk a lot more about government interference. We don't elect politicians to make medical decisions for us.
In addition to Florida, 9 other states have abortion measures on the ballot this November, including the presidential battlegrounds of Arizona and Nevada. Abortion rights have won every time they've been on the ballot since Roe was overturned.
Vote no.
Vote no on 4 wants a different outcome in Florida. Miami radiologist Dr. Gracie Pozo Christie is a founding member of Florida Physicians Against Amendment 4 and calls the proposal dangerous.
It's written in such a way that it allows elective abortions through viability and after viability for reasons of maternal health. Maternal health is not defined, which means it could include her economic health, her social health, her psychological health, basically any reason.
Tal como la enmienda 4.
Both sides are inundating Floridians with English and Spanish language ads, with just 2.5 weeks left for voters to make up their minds. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
A group campaigning for Florida's abortion right measure sued state officials Wednesday over an order to stop television stations from airing one ad. The group behind the ad says its content is accurate and is protected political speech. The state health department claims it is false and dangerous. Tributes are pouring in from around the world following the death of former One Direction band member Liam Payne. The 31-year-old singer died Wednesday after authorities say he fell from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Payne became a global sensation at just 16 years old as a member of One Direction and pursued a solo career when the group broke up in 2016. In recent years, he talked about his struggles with suicidal thoughts and addiction.
It's such shocking news in so many ways. There was always something about him that made you think, even if this is a dark phase he's going through musically or personally or whatever, there will be future chapters for him. It seemed like he had a long way to go and a lot more to give the world.
Authorities are still conducting an autopsy and investigating the circumstances of Payne's death.
Well, as seen on TV yesterday, we had plenty of sunshine and temperatures were in the 50s and 60s. Now we have another frost advisory in effect, and from midnight until 10 a.m. for the majority of the WYMT viewing area, as temperatures will hover between 33 to 36 degrees. Plenty of sunshine out there. This is the scene from our tower cam here in Hazard. You can see lots and lots of sunshine and temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s. 50s from Hazard and points eastward, 60s from Manchester and points westward until you get to about Monticello, Williamsburg, Jacksboro, where we're seeing temperatures around 59 degrees. All is quiet over the next several hours. There's future view. You can see by 7 o'clock, we'll see temperatures in the 40s, upper 30s and low 40s by midnight. And then plenty of sunshine will be the rule again for the day on Friday. A chilly start. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 30s, so some patchy frost is not out of the question. But look at the 1 o'clock temperature, upper 50s and low 60s. And then by Friday night, if you have plans for Friday night football, a beautiful evening out there. Temperatures will be in the 50s and 60s. Definitely perfect football weather nonetheless. Now the warming trend will continue as we go throughout the weekend. Details on the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thanks. Americans are still opening their wallets despite years of elevated inflation. According to fresh government data, spending at U.S. retailers climbed 0.4% in September from the prior month. The largest increase was seen at specialty stores, clothing stores, and at health and personal care shops. Consumer spending makes up about 70% of the U.S. economy. Retail sales are a sizable chunk of that. The general store at Pine Mountain Crossing quickly became a Letcher County staple after opening in 2021. And now, after closing earlier this year, the store has reopened under new ownership. The new owners agree the goal of the store is to create community in a popular tourist area between Letcher and Harlan counties. They say the general store sits in an area that could be considered a food desert.
From here, I mean, you have to either go to Whitesburg or you have to go to Cumberland to get food. So we have a lot of regulars that live close that depend on this for their lunches. So, and a lot of people that work over here.
The general store serves hot food while also being a hot spot to pick up anything from snacks to some Kentucky swag. Coming up on First at 4.